This Ferrari 360 has been my faithful daily driver for almost 15 years. I originally bought the car cheap, really cheap, even though it had low mileage and full Ferrari history. Because it was black, the seller simply couldn't shift it, so I picked it up for an absolute steal. Then I modified it, and then I used it. And I used it a lot. In truth, it's been the best car I've ever owned, and never once has it let me down. But after 15 years of the car being used, abused and thoroughly thrashed around, well, let's face it, looks-wise, she ain't no garage queen. And after all that driving pleasure, it's time to give back. My Stradale is getting a full top-to-toe restoration. But the ultimate question is, can we turn back time and transform this car back to its former glory? I've got a very, very lumpy engine back there, and I'm on the motorway and I can't really stop safely at the moment, so I'm nursing the car. I've got an engine management light on, and as soon as I go above 2,500-3,000 RPM, the engine sounds horrendous, and I'm very much hoping this is nothing expensive. Okay, we made it. This is Jake. Say hi, Jake.
Hello.
The car is not right.
Still sounds fantastic.
Yeah, maybe it's cured itself. I brought the Ferrari down to see my buddy Jake at Live 9 Lives Customs. He's a master at high-end restorations, and over the next couple of weeks is going to attempt the impossible. We've got repairs to do, modifications, restoration work, and now, after the drive down here, possibly some engine work as well. And all that before we can even touch a spray gun. So let's roll our sleeves up and crack on. Step one is a complete strip down on the car. We're going to be giving the Ferrari a full respray, and to do the job right means most of the work is in the preparation, so everything needs to come off. And in typical fashion, as with many old cars, the nuts and bolts were completely stuck, so there was only one solution: we had to cut them out.
Cut me, miss.
I don't want to do it.
Cut me.
And while Jade worked on that stuck side skirt, I focused on removing a few of the less difficult parts. As I started to remove each item, I realised everything on the car is going to need some work. This rear challenge grille is looking really tired and requires a respray. This rear bumper was recently replaced and sprayed temporarily rattle can black. It all had to come off the 360, and it didn't really matter in which order. I wonder if that number still works. Bit by bit, the exterior started to come apart, and the extent of the restoration grew more and more. The Challenge Stradale interior is also being fully restored and retrimmed, more on that a little later on, but it meant that removing many parts just to gain access to those wing mirror fixings. These things are just so expensive. I really don't want to go down the route of opening them up if I don't have to, which is what we did on the Stradale Spider build. Scary. Fantastic. We'll see how we get on with cleaning them up, and then that'll be the deciding factor of what we do paint-wise on this car. Next up, I needed to remove the fake wing badges because I had a very cool, cunning plan up my sleeve. And well, up until that point, everything had gone perfectly well. Right up until the part where I decided we needed to remove the rear windows, and then it went horribly wrong. Ferrari had used so much sealant when they fitted the windows, it was impossible to get them out. This is unreal. There's all that bond on there. The rubber seal's been bonded on. You ain't going to cut that out without doing that. But the broken window was not our only problem. It had been removed in order to access screws holding in roof trims. These needed to come off the car in order to correctly respray it, but these were also going to be a problem. And worse still, they were no longer available from Ferrari, so we simply couldn't risk damaging them. It was time to take a well-needed break and reassess the situation.
My friends at Beer 52 have sent me this exclusive case of 8 beers. And I'm going to try this Bureau from Germany. What about you, Jake?
And I'm going to try Avans from Belgium.
Beer 52 are on an adventure to find the best beers across the planet. This month they're showcasing the world's best independent breweries with an exclusive selection from beers from 8 different countries, including Germany, Belgium and the USA. Beer 52 are giving you an exclusive offer of a free case of beers you won't find anywhere else. Simply go to beer52.com, that's beer52.com/Ratarossa, and cover just $5.95 postage and get 8 unique beers delivered right to your door. The artwork on the can is really cool, but this beer tastes even better. It's got a vibrant hop profile, it's full of flavour and it's super smooth. You could drink this all day. And for whatever reason, if you don't like dark beer, well, it's simple. Just order the light case instead, and in each case comes a couple of tasty snacks, as Jake has just discovered. And even after that, if you're still unsatisfied, you can simply pause or cancel at any time. Simply head to beer52.com/Ratarossa to claim your free case of insanely good beers. That's beer52.com/Ratarossa. Cheers. Okay, so we had a little bit of a setback, a bit of a disaster getting the window out here on the right side. Absolute nightmare, as you can see, by the amount of gunk that they have used to put this in. Now, we presumed that this had come out previously, and I thought so because of, I don't know if you can see this, the car had been resprayed here and this whole rear quarter. So we thought maybe they did the right thing, took the window out to do that job. But when we took the other side out, it was pretty much the same. And well, they used the same amount of gunk on the other side. And everyone I've talked to about these things has said the same thing. These rear windows are an absolute nightmare to get out of a 360 or 430. Most people won't even touch them. But we needed to do the right thing. We want to do the job perfectly. And this trim all needed to come off so we can spray the roof correctly. So, bit of a nightmare on that side. This car always lacked one tiny little thing from factory. On the Stradale, it had recessed wing badges. Now, Jake said, can't be done. I said, it's got to be done, yeah? I really, it wouldn't sit right with me if we resprayed this, made it look perfect, and I still didn't have the correct wing badges. So, here's my solution. So, originally, I had these badges, wing badges. Now, these are aftermarket. They're very good aftermarket. They look very similar to the original factory ones, but there's one big difference, the thickness of it. So, it's quite a thin, and it's just sticky tape on the back. This is an original one, much thicker, 3 bolt studs, and it sits in that recess. Well, not too bad. Most people wouldn't know, so if you don't look for the recess. Now, this is the solution that we came up with. I bought I think that's a left side one. Yeah, left side one here. This is the recess. We were going to cut this out. And then the other one was this one here. This came off my 430 Scuderia. Essentially, it's the same kind of thing. It was very battered, and Jake kindly spent a lot of time straightening this out. And we thought it wasn't actually going to work, but he's got it looking really good. So he's going to be rather mad when I tell him the new solution. Now, also, the other thing that we did, when it didn't look like it was going to work very well, I actually bought a right side wing here with the recess, and well, we were going to bolt that on in place. It had a little tiny bit of damage down here that we were going to repair on the arch, and we were going to cut it here and weld it on the car. So we had one very good side on the right, one on the left over here, which we were going to put on the car. Oh, just killed that. And we're going to cut it and weld it in, which is going to be a bit of a nightmare. But in the meantime, after spending 1,500 quid on a wing and Jake spending a lot of time straightening this, we've come up with a much, much better solution. This device over here. We've got a couple of very clever chaps, Claude and my buddy Aldos from AV Engineering, have come up with an amazing solution just in the nick of time. This device is a die kind of press that they've come up with that will save us cutting and pretty much bodging my wings on this lovely black car here. By using this, we are going to create a factory recess on these wings without having to cut them. So Jake didn't realize this, but he's going to be doing all the work. Let me show you on this one here. So we're just going to take off this. Now Ferrari put a very, very thin protection on the inside of those wings. We're going to do that, and then we're just going to buzz off some of the paint. Now, original plan was we were just going to use the outline of where 12 years ago I stuck the aftermarket ones on, but we've just realized by using a template that I actually put these in the wrong place. They need to be a little bit more forward here. Lovely template that the guys have produced to position these in the absolute correct position that the factory put the wing shields in. So okay, the tricky bit's done. We've drilled the holes, and this is the exciting bit. So we've got all the die lined up, and I've just gradually got to tighten these up one by one. We're going to do them a little bit at a time. And then I think on our test bit, we only did the one in and out, and it was good enough, but it might be we have to do this 2 or 3 times to just make it perfect. We will see, but a quality bit of engineering this. This is quite tight now. Okay. Yeah, that's tight, tight, tight. So, okay. All right. Breaking sweat. This is like, I'm very nervous at this. Very nervous. Okay. Here we go. Moment of truth. Wow, look at that. That is amazing. And perfect, isn't it? Perfect position. Ready? Jeez, mate, that looks amazing. Super, super happy. This is one happy man. Look at that. 14 years I've had this car and I've always needed this on it. Look at that. 14 years it's taken me to sort this out. These guys are absolute genius. That is the best bit of kit I've seen anyone build for a Ferrari 360, possibly a 430. We're going to check to see if all 430s came with wing badges or not. Anyway, guys, I'm going to do the other side, and we are going to drop all of the information on how you guys, if you've got a 360, you want these wing recesses on your car, if it didn't come from factory, how you can get this bit of kit, who can do it. All the details are going to be in the description below the video. Have a look, click on the website, and well, we're going to try and make sure that this is going to be available worldwide.
Now, prior to using the die on my car, we did a quick dummy run on Claude's test wing, and you can see here, even more clearly, next to the factory recess, it's absolutely identical. And finally, with the badge in place, looks just perfect. With all the parts now stripped off the body and it looking just how I wanted, it was finally ready for Jake to take over and start working some magic. All the bad paint was sanded back and any repairs around the car were rectified. It's these steps in the restoration that take the longest but are the most worthwhile when it comes to the finish. It's when you see the car stripped back this much that it's hard to picture the end result, but at the same time, it's that unknown anticipation that's really exciting. The rear engine lid on my car had previously had a little bit of damage and needed to be sorted out prior to paint. Having sold my original near mint engine lid a while ago to fund some F40 parts, this spare that I'd picked up when rebuilding the Silver CS was far from perfect, and I had a few little dings and dents on it. Although it was not terrible, it still needed a skim of filler to smooth out those imperfections. And you recall those very badly wrecked wheel arches that I attempted to repair myself unsuccessfully? Well, Jake made that job look rather easy. Once all the bodywork is sorted and arrow straight, the car then gets a coat of this golden looking acid edge. After that, it's on with the high build primer, and now, at this stage, is when the car really is starting to look great again. And as that primer starts to dry, I think the car looks pretty mean in that flat black. With the bodywork all prepped and almost ready for paint, I've got to make the biggest decision of all. What colour to paint this Ferrari? My gut tells me to keep it the original black Nero Daytona 506 colour, because really that's how I built the car originally all those years ago. But I change my mind on this one more often than I change my underwear. So we decided to head on over to the local paint shop, Automotive Paint Supplies, to try a few different ideas.
That's cool, isn't it? Do that if you want. That would be really cool.
Now, I've always liked the thought of this car in some kind of purple complete with the stripe. I think it would look great. So with the help of Austin from the shop, he created a custom colour using the original Ferrari black as the base colour. We then took our custom mix back to Jake's, where he sprayed some test panels that we could use and check against the car, and also in some different lights. We created two different variants of purple, one with an extra level of fleck.
It looks just like ours.
Yeah, that's
Whereas I've got.
Oh,
And that'll actually, obviously, you know, if you look at it from this side, in certain lights it'll look completely different colour.
yeah, it does. It actually does.
So
yeah, from here, it's really quite dark. It's
Yeah.
actually like a
if you
quite plummy,
if
right?
you go where
Well, it's quite fortunate today because we've got the sun out, haven't we? Oh, look at that. Yeah.
Sometimes the light catches.
And then we go dark again. Whereas this one's, I think this one's too light personally.
Yeah. And obviously the line in here doesn't actually.
And all that we've done on that is just that silver fleck. So it's exactly the same purple, but with that fleck, isn't it? Yeah. Sun comes out and it's purple, and then you turn it to the side a little bit, no sun on it, and it looks almost black. Oh dear. Well guys, you've seen us mix up the colours. We've come up with this pretty crazy looking purple, which I think will look fantastic on this car. Either way, we're going with the stripe on it, but I really am on the fence. I'm down to 3 colours on this I think will look amazing. We go original black with the stripe, we go Rosso Scuderia that was on my 430, or we go a little bit far out with the purple. I can't make that decision. I've tried for weeks now and I change my mind every day. So it's down to you guys. Let me know in the comments below which one of the 3 we should spray the 360. You're going to find out in the next video. So you make the decision. Anyway, guys, thank you all very much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Until then, stay safe and ciao for now. I got an idea. My car's a 2003, so it's 21 years old. Shall we see if Ferrari's breakdown assistance line still works? Come on, let's try it. Here we go. Ready?
To report a new breakdown.
It actually works. No way. Top job, Ferrari. I don't believe that. Wow.